It seems that the weather's calmed down a little bit. We had, about a week of trees deciding to cut power lines and start fires and all sorts of weather behaving badly. Things calming down as we're in the final couple of days of October, November by the weekend. But what sort of weather does November bring? Joining me on the program now from weatherwatch.co.nz, Phil Duncan. Kia ora, nice to see you.
Kia ora, nice to be back.
November, rain on the horizon. I'll start early with the Guns N' Roses joke, but I mean, we certainly had enough rain and winds and, as I say, disruptions in the last week. Are things calming down at all, Phil?
Do you know, as someone who writes for the Farmers Weekly newspaper,
Yep.
When it rains in November, I always love being able to pull out the cold November rain line from Guns N' Roses and stick that in a headline. But this year, it's not going to be that way, at least not for the start of the month. We've got this big, beautiful, high-pressure system coming in for the first week of November.
Wow.
So we've not had a high that's stuck over New Zealand I can't remember the last one. I mean, we've had a couple that were there for 24 hours, maybe 36, and then they moved on, and we got the windy westerlies again. This one comes in on Saturday, stays for Sunday, starts to move off on Monday, but it will be just east of New Zealand, and that placement pulls down northerlies and easterlies and subtropical winds. So really, next week is going to warm up more and more as we go through it. Most regions are dry. There will be a few showers over the weekend, though, mostly in the upper North Island. You got high pressure on both sides of the country, and so just in between the two highs, get a bit of convergence where the winds meet. Nothing too big in the forecast, though, really, for the next week. We see a drop in wind, a drop in rainfall, and a lift in temperatures. But between now and November, over the next 2 days, we've still got another burst of windy nor'westers today, mostly the lower North Island, the Canterbury Mountains and Southland, Fovo Strait, Stewart Island.
Yep.
Windy today. Tomorrow, southwesterlies before the high rolls in, which means there'll be some frosts around tonight and tomorrow in the usual inland areas. And then by the weekend, in comes that big, beautiful high.
Hey, terrible news for Axl Rose fans, but who cares, honestly? A sunny November. He should write a new song. I don't know if he's still got it. Because next week, a big week, of course, we've got Guy Fawkes. Not sure at all why we do Guy Fawkes still, but hey, why not? And it is Melbourne Cup Day. Is it going to be fine on both sides of the Tasman, Philip?
So for fireworks, which is November 5th, correct? Wednesday, it's going to be mostly settled in New Zealand. Now, there might be a bit of a westerly breeze or a northerly breeze here and there, but overall it's looking mostly dry. So it could be a very good one for the bonfire nights and those who go out to celebrate it, or for those who want to hide at home.
Yep.
And then you've also got the day before that, prior, on Tuesday, the Melbourne Cup. And the Melbourne Cup, that's a great measurement for the weather in November because we see it all on television.
Yep.
And you go each year, it's completely different. This year, it's looking pretty wild.
Yep. Very
large area of low pressure. They could have windy weather, or it just might be raining and all sorts of stuff going on there. So it's going to be, there's actually quite a big storm system moving into the southeast corner of Australia over the next couple of days.
Okay, although who cares about the horse racing? Chucking it down with rain on the beautiful people with their stupid hats. I'd pay to watch that. Honestly, I'd put money on it even. But hey, in terms of what's happening here in New Zealand, looking generally quite good as we're slipping towards summer. Meanwhile, though, in the northern hemisphere, Hurricane Melissa, this is devastating, and a hurricane of epic proportions like Jamaica's never seen before, I hear.
Yeah, Jamaica has been hit by many hurricanes over the past, but never a Category 5, the highest level one you can get. They had a Category 4 about a decade or so ago. So this is far stronger, far bigger. You know, it came in with sustained winds of 300 kilometers an hour.
Wow.
Keep in mind, the storm that hit the South Island last week brought wind gusts to 220 k's an hour to Marlborough. That's just a gust.
Yeah.
This is sustained. So this is a major, major storm for Jamaica. But not just Jamaica. Cuba got it next as a major Category 3 storm. And Haiti, which wasn't even in the line of the storm, well away from it, but it got the rain, and there's been deaths there due to flash flooding and rivers flooding. So this is a widespread Caribbean storm event. It got the third lowest air pressure ever recorded in the Atlantic Basin.
Wow.
And it's just a phenomenal storm that's breaking all sorts of records. So a bit of a concern to get that at the very end of October, and it was more powerful than Hurricane Katrina. So that gives you an idea of just how big it was. But unlike Katrina hitting a country that's got a lot of first world infrastructure.
Yep.
Jamaica has a lot of buildings made out of corrugated iron and things like that. So this is not going to be a good story for Jamaica. The only positive is that it didn't hit the biggest city, Kingston. So there's some good news at least coming out of Jamaica on that front.
You don't want to be in a windstorm with when most of your houses are made out of corrugated iron. That's a recipe for disaster, and certainly concern about what is happening in that part of the world. Likely that it will lose strength before it hits the United States. Any forecasting or mapping regarding that, Philip?
It's over the Bahamas now, and it is moving off towards Bermuda. So it's basically going from the Caribbean towards the United Kingdom.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's a northeasterly direction, and it goes over the top of Bermuda. They're no stranger. They're a bit like New Zealand. We get these sort of X storms that are usually kind of the edges of it. Hopefully they'll be okay. And then it goes out, and it may well become sort of a wintry kind of storm when it finally reaches the UK in about a week's time. So hopefully not posing too much of a threat to land after today.
And hey, hopefully for the people of Jamaica, Cuba, Haiti in particular, which seems to be disaster after disaster for the people there, an opportunity to clean up, to regroup, and to deal with the aftermath there. Philip, thank you so much for the work that you do at WeatherWatch. Of course, weatherwatch.co.nz. For more information, don't forget to get the app. It's a nice, early, cheap Christmas present to yourself. Check it out, weatherwatch.co.nz. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.